Hi, I'm Nicole. Today I'm going to show you an easy roasted poblano. So to get started, you take 4 poblanos, you sprinkle some olive oil, bit of salt, and pepper. Toss to coat, bit more salt, and a bit more pepper. And then you pop them underneath a hot broiler. They only need about 3 to 5 minutes, so we will check them and rotate halfway through. So while the peppers are underneath the broiler, it's time to chop 2 yellow onions and a head of garlic. The recipe calls for the onions to be thinly sliced, which makes sense because you'll end up shredding the chicken at the end, so everything will be the same size and consistency, which makes for a nice bite. That was the timer, so I'm just going to go and turn over the poblanos and just to make sure that they are blistering up nicely, which will give them a really great flavor within the soup. And the onions are starting to make me cry. So just give me 1 second, I'll flip those peppers. As you can see, the peppers are blistering nicely, so we're just gonna give them a flip and then another 2 minutes, and then we'll take them out and let them cool, and then we'll chop them up to add to the soup. So the recipe calls for, say, 2 or 3 cloves of garlic. I, being an Italian, prefer more garlic, but that's the best part about cooking, is you get to decide what the flavors that you enjoy most and make those sort of the highlight star of your dish. So if you're into garlic like I am, add more garlic. If you're not, pull back. Same goes with the spices. Here we have salt, oregano, coriander, paprika, and chili, but you can amp them up, change them up, sort of whatever suits your style. So I will just continue with chopping the garlic here, and then we will take out the peppers and get started with the soup. I decided to make this soup today because tortilla soup is one of my favorites, but it's pretty cheese heavy, which makes it a little on the fattening side. And well, after 8 days in Mexico, I did plenty of eating and a whole lot of beer drinking, so I'm trying to pull back from the calories just a little bit. So this soup has plenty of flavor, but is a little on the lighter side. So we'll just crush up this garlic here and then pop it into the pot and just let it sweat out. Just needs to be a rough chop because it will break down when it's in the soup, and some of it actually ends up going into the blender. It is like 1,000 degrees in my kitchen right now because I decided to run the dishwasher right before I did this, so it's steaming right below me, so pardon me if I'm sweating here. We are good with the garlic, so we are just going to head over to the stove and start sweating the aromatic. Okay, so we are going to turn the burner on to about medium-high heat. Just a couple of tablespoons of olive oil or avocado oil or whichever oil suits you. And then we will add the onions and the garlic into the pot and allow those to sweat for 2 to 5 minutes. Oh, making a mess. So just let those go and we will take out the peppers. It's really hot, so I'm going to use both oven mitts, and hopefully you can see that the peppers have started to blister, which will allow you to take off the tougher exterior skin, which is not as pleasant to eat. So a little trick that you can do with the peppers that will help you peel the skin off a little easier is pop them in a dish, which you then cover with plastic wrap, and it helps it steam, which allows you to peel that skin off much easier. So the onions and the garlic are sweating down nicely here, which gives me time to make myself an ice cold beverage. those that don't have an ice machine, you should really get one. So I'm going to add all of those spices. So that was the salt, the oregano, cumin, paprika, and chili powder. I did a teaspoon to half a teaspoon of each, but again, like I said, it's totally up to you and what your flavor profile favorites are. Also, you don't have to make it a chicken soup if you're a vegetarian or a vegan. You can add beans instead of the chicken, which would give you protein and give body to the soup. Totally up to you. So we're just going to keep sweating those onions and the spices down until the onions are translucent. And yeah, we'll get to chopping up those peppers. So the peppers have cooled enough that you can touch them, and as you can see, you can just peel that thicker skin right off the pepper. There goes the ice maker. So just do this quickly, and then we'll just do a rough chop on the pepper. So you get to decide how spicy you want your soup to be. So if you want it less spicy, I recommend removing all of the seeds from the peppers. But if you want a little more spice, then by all means, leave the seeds in. A little hotter. Ouch. So now that most of the seeds are removed, you just want to give that a rough chop. And add that right in with the onion garlic mix. So hopefully you can see the soup. So I'm just mixing the onions, garlic, and peppers all together, which looks really nice. And then we are going to add the liquids. You're going to add about 4 cups of chicken stock, or if you want to make it vegetarian, you can always add vegetable stock. But one of these things is about 4 cups, thereabouts, if I can open it. Oh, there we go. Okay, so just go ahead and add that straight in. And then you will add 1 jar of crushed tomatoes. There you go. Give that a stir, and then you are going to cover and turn up the heat and bring it to a boil. Okay. So now that the soup is boiling, you will take your chicken and just pop it right into the soup. Turn down the heat to about a medium. Cover and let simmer for 20 to 25 minutes. So 20 minutes has elapsed. Very carefully remove the chicken from the soup and put it into a bowl. Turn off the soup. So the 20 minutes has gone by, so we're just going to carefully remove the chicken from the soup, putting it into a bowl. Just let it cool down so that you can shred it and put it back into the soup. So we'll just remove it now. Turn off the burner and just let the soup sit for a few moments. So here is the chicken. So you're gonna take 2 forks and just pull apart the chicken and shred it. So we have shredded the chicken all up. So now we're just going to go back to the soup and take a couple of cups and blend them up to sort of thicken up the soup. And then we're pretty much done. So just give that a quick buzz. There we go. Add that right back into the soup. And add the chicken right back in that you've shredded up. And give that a stir. So here is the soup. Delicious, almost one pot, ready to serve. So the perfect accompaniment to the soup is a little bit of a fried tortilla. So just heat up the skillet, add a little bit of oil, and then just pop the tortilla right in there. And let that fry up. Sounds good.
I'm very intent on watching. This cow is eluded. The phone is an HGTV on-demand presentation.
See the bubbles and it's crisping up. That will be a delicious accompaniment to the soup. So with the tortilla, you just cut it up. Add it to your beautiful soup. And there you go. A beautiful, almost one pot dish.
The first house is custom.